Hello and welcome to the Midlife Financial MOT webinar. My name is Chris Hampson and I am a corporate benefits consultant for Broadstone. As a leading independent full-service employee benefits consultancy, we pride ourselves on being agile and responding to client needs and ensuring we deliver excellent customer service. Our services include corporate guidance and personal financial planning, and as a specialist financial advice business, we continue to provide impartial advice. As time goes by, and people start to reach middle age, they begin to focus on their future plans. This will include work, health, and retirement. There's a lot to consider, and it's not easy knowing where to start or how best to start to prioritize. The webinar presentation is designed to look at each of these areas and provide some general guidance. You'll appreciate that a short presentation will only scratch the surface of this topic, but it should provide you with a useful starting point. An information sheet will be provided with a summary of the key points from this webinar and recommended web links for you to review. If you wish to discuss your individual plans, my colleagues at Broadstone will be delighted to take forward an initial phone review with you on a one-to-one basis at our cost. So let's take a look at the agenda. Why Midlife MOT? Work, health and well-being, retirement planning, and summary. So why have a midlife MOT? Well, midlife creeps up on you and the moment strikes when you suddenly start to ponder the future. You'll then begin to worry about how you should prioritize the next 20 years. Do you think that you'll be able to continue in your current occupation in the coming years? Do you have any current health issues and/or are there any family health concerns? What's the right balance to strike between spending now and saving for the future? And is it better to pay the mortgage off early, or do you put more of your monthly income into securing a better retirement pot? Retirement plans. How many pensions do you have from different employment? And do you know where to obtain information on the current value and the investment risk and performance? And how are the recent changes in the state pension going to affect when you can afford to retire? In lots of cases, when people reach their 40s and 50s, they'll have a mix of financial products taken out since they started work and perhaps not all now fit for purpose when looking at future goals. Your circumstances may also have changed since you made the original financial decisions. You may now have a partner or spouse who are not included in the original plans. You may now be a higher earner than when you first set up your plans and now have more disposable income to use for financial planning. And you may now have repaid your mortgage and could put the savings on monthly repayments to good use. Work. When individuals, now reaching their mid-40s, first commenced employment, the state retirement age for females was 60 and for males 65. And depending on the occupation, many people anticipated working for the same organisation for the whole of their working life. Employers like the banks, traditional industries and large corporate organisations offered gold-plated defined benefit pension arrangements, also known as final salary schemes, providing predetermined levels of retirement income based on the number of years service and earnings. Alas, times have changed. Firstly, the equalisation of state pension benefits for males and females, initially to age 65, now moving to age 67, and then 68 from 2037, and it's quite possible they'll increase again in the future. And there are now very few final salary schemes available to employees in the private sector due to the immense cost of funding and operating them. In addition, they do not provide portability, which is now important given the fact that individuals tend to move employment more often than in the past. There are now major changes to the working environment. The current pandemic is likely to result in more employers changing the traditional working environment and where possible, employees may transact business from home. These changes will have a major impact on the decisions made by people on their future work career plans. Many people are now working beyond state retirement age, and according to the Office of National Statistics, in May 2019, looking back at the previous 10 years, the number of employed women aged 70 or over had doubled, and for the same age group and employment type, there'd been an increase of 137% for male employees. It is now a good time to consider from a career basis, what do you still wish to accomplish over the next 10, 20 years or more? And will you need to acquire new skills to meet these needs? Health and well-being. Life doesn't always go to plan, and unfortunately some people will be forced to give up work due to health conditions. This may be avoided by using some of the national support mechanisms. You may have an NHS health check if you're aged 40 to 74 and have not had a stroke or do not have any pre-existing health conditions. This is normally via the receipt of a letter from a doctor's surgery or local authority invite, and this should happen every 5 years. If you want to preempt this, there are details on the following websites of where to contact, which also includes online tests and tools that you may utilise. Sometimes employers offer access to health checks as part of your employee benefit package, so it's always worth checking what's available to you through your employer. Well-being is defined as the state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy by the Oxford Dictionary. However, there's much more to it than that. It's important to consider work-life balance and how satisfied someone is with their overall life. Public Health England provide greater information and support on the following link. Your employer may also offer private professional support in this area. With the increase in life expectancy, which we'll touch on more in the retirement section, more parents and relatives are living longer and needing care in their later life. Being a carer will have a major impact on your employment situation, with the peak age being between 55 and 64. It's therefore important, as well as speaking with your employer, that you seek additional support. Carers UK is a good place to start. Retirement planning. Currently, according to research done by major pension provider Aegon in 2019, 25% of individuals with pension savings don't know how much they've accumulated. 36% have never estimated their income needs for retirement, and sadly, 10% have no pension savings at all. It's now becoming crucial for you to start to formulate a plan of what you'd like retirement to look like. How long will you continue to work and keep earning? Is your intention to retire fully or work part-time? And at retirement, will you have repaid your mortgage and cleared any outstanding debt? In the section on health and well-being, we discussed the fact that people are now living longer. In September 2019, the Office for National Statistics confirmed that the average life expectancy was 79.3 for males and 82.9 for females. A male reaching age 65 is on average likely to live a further 18 years, and for a female, a further 21 years. Putting this in context, when the basic state pension began in 1948, and we only have figures for those born in England and Wales available, the average life expectancy for men was 66 and 70 for women. This clearly indicates the need now for greater levels of funds required to cover the increase of life in retirement. Let us now look at the different types of retirement vehicles. The new state pension. In November 2018, equalisation took place, and female state retirement age was brought in line with males at age 65. In addition, from October 2020, state retirement age moves to 66, and between 26 and 28 to age 67. It's intended that between 2037 and 2039, the state retirement age will be 68. The state pension benefits underwent changes in 2016 and resulted in a new state pension, which is single-tiered and payable provided you have a minimum 10 years of national insurance contributions. The maximum amount that may be received is based on 35 qualifying years, and for the tax year 2020-21, this is £175.20 per week, or £9,110 per annum. Let's now look at private pension arrangements. During your working life to date, you may have been in a final salary scheme at some point. As we discussed earlier, this will provide a predetermined level of income at the scheme retirement age, with benefits normally increasing each year with inflation. The level of benefits will be based on the salary you received whilst working for the employer and the number of years you were in the scheme. The most popular method of accruing benefits now is a defined contribution scheme via your employer, with contributions made by your employer, yourself, and the taxman. Generally, when you're enrolled into the arrangement, your contributions are placed in what is known as a default fund. This fund normally invests in various forms of assets, including stocks and shares, property, government bonds, and cash. It is worth checking where your pension's invested to ensure that your contributions have a real opportunity to grow between now and retirement, and that they match your attitude to risk. Since 2015, there are now more options of how to take your retirement income from this arrangement. Unfortunately, I don't have sufficient time today to go through these. At present, you can start to access your pension from age 55 at the earliest, but the earlier you take any pension benefits, the sooner the fund will run out in retirement. It is worth reviewing how many pensions you've collected so far and if there is an advantage of transferring them into one pot. Other sources of income at retirement. You may currently have investment property in the form of a buy-to-let, which can continue to provide an income source in retirement, or which you may decide to sell and invest the monies in other areas. Since 1988, it's been possible as an individual to save into an investment product originally known as a personal equity plan, or PEP, and now known as an individual savings account, ISA. You are limited to £20,000 per annum in contributions. There is no tax relief on the contributions, but you pay no tax on any funds taken out. This can be used either as an additional source of capital for expenditure in retirement or taken as a regular income to support your needs. There's also a lifetime ISA. You're limited to investments of £4,000 per annum, and this forms part of the £20,000 overall ISA annual allowance, and you can save in this vehicle up to the age of 50. The government will add a 25% bonus up to a maximum of £1,000 per year. However, you cannot access the funds without a 25% penalty before age 60. You may also have cash saved in bank accounts or elsewhere that you've earmarked to use once you retire. Many people still consider inheritance from parents as part of their retirement planning. However, again, with the increase in life expectancy and the potential need to pay for care, this strategy may prove not to be the best way forward and would certainly be classed as high risk in most cases. Insurance and protection. Checking the policies you may have in place are still fit for purpose is still really important in midlife. Even though you may now be closer to paying off large debts like the mortgage, if you were to die, you may still want to leave some financial support for your dependents. Other things like planning for funeral costs or care costs may also have crossed your mind. In summary, I hope you found this webinar interesting and thought-provoking. As I indicated at the start, an information sheet will be provided giving a summary of the areas of midlife MOT that we've covered and some useful links to valuable websites. My colleagues' contact details will also be provided so that if you believe you need some further assistance in making your future plans, you may have a no obligation chat with them. May I thank you for your time today.